Tonight, we're climbing one of the most mysterious staircases in Hogwarts. Far above the moving corridors and candlelit classrooms, beyond portraits, hidden passages, and winding towers, waits a room unlike any other in the castle. A circular office filled with silver instruments, ancient books, sleeping portraits, and windows overlooking the entire wizarding world below. Tonight, we are spending a peaceful evening with Albus Dumbledore. There will be no battles, no dark prophecies, no urgent dangers waiting in the shadows. Only quiet conversation, warm candlelight, old memories, and the comforting wisdom of a wizard who has watched many years pass beneath the stars. So, before we begin, take a moment to like the video and subscribe if you enjoy cozy fantasy sleep stories. And let me know in the comments where you're listening from tonight. Now, dim the lights, settle comfortably beneath your blankets. Listen to the distant sound of Hogwarts settling into the evening, and follow the spiral staircase upward. A warm light already shines beneath the office door. Evening has settled gently over Hogwarts. The final traces of sunset linger beyond the castle windows, painting the distant hills in shades of gold and violet. Inside the castle, the day is drawing to a close. Students drift toward common rooms. The great hall grows quieter. Classrooms stand empty beneath floating candles. The vast stone corridors echo softly with the fading sounds of another ordinary day. The traveler walks through these corridors slowly. There is no hurry, no destination demanding immediate arrival. The journey itself feels important, especially tonight. The castle possesses a unique atmosphere after sunset. A calmness settles over its ancient stones. The portraits speak more softly. The staircases move with less urgency. Even the enchanted suits of armor seem content to rest. Warm pools of candlelight stretch across polished floors. Shadows gather in corners. Everything feels older. The traveler eventually reaches a familiar stone gargoyle, standing beside a hidden entrance. Beyond it waits one of Hogwarts' most unusual staircases. A spiral staircase that winds upward toward the headmaster's office. The entrance opens. The staircase begins moving, slowly, smoothly, like an ancient machine continuing a task it has performed for generations. The climb begins. Round and round the staircase turns. The castle falls away below. Stone walls curve upward into shadow. Occasionally, a narrow window reveals the evening sky beyond. Stars begin appearing overhead, one by one, patiently. The higher the traveler climbs, the quieter the castle becomes. The distant sounds of student life fade completely. Only the gentle hum of magic remains, the sort of magic woven into Hogwarts itself. Old magic, comfortable magic. The staircase continues its slow ascent. Higher, farther, closer to the highest tower, closer to the office of a wizard whose life has become part of the castle's history. At last, the staircase slows. A wooden door waits ahead. Warm golden light shines beneath it. Sort of light that promises comfort on a quiet evening. The traveler pauses. The castle stretches below. The stars shine beyond nearby windows. The night has only just begun. And somewhere beyond that door waits an office filled with mysteries, memories, and the gentle glow of countless candles. The wooden door opens quietly. Beyond it waits one of the most remarkable rooms in Hogwarts. Not remarkable in the way students often imagine. There are no explosions, no dramatic displays of magic, No endless shelves of forbidden artifacts glowing in the darkness. Instead, the room feels warm, lived in, comfortable. The sort of place that has been shaped by many years of quiet evenings. The traveler steps inside. Circular office stretches outward beneath a high ceiling, crossed by ancient wooden beams. Candlelight fills every corner. Not bright enough to banish every shadow, only enough to create a gentle golden glow throughout the room. The light reflects softly from polished surfaces, from brass fittings, from glass cases, from dozens of curious silver instruments scattered across nearby tables. Some spin slowly, others release thin streams of colored smoke. Several emit soft humming sounds that blend together like distant music. None appear hurried. None appear dangerous. They simply exist, patiently carrying out purposes known only to their creator. A clock ticks somewhere among the shelves. Tiny gears rotate within an elaborate silver mechanism. A glass sphere glimmers faintly, as if holding captured starlight. Everything feels calm, intentional, thoughtful. The traveler moves deeper into the room. Books line the walls from floor to ceiling, thousands of them. Some appear ancient, their leather bindings worn smooth by countless hands. Others look newer, though even the newest books in this room seem older than most people. The shelves curve around the office like the walls of a library hidden within a tower. Knowledge surrounds everything, not displayed, simply present, waiting patiently. The windows draw attention next. Tall and narrow, they rise almost from floor to ceiling. Beyond them stretches the night sky above Hogwarts. Stars glitter across the darkness. The black lake reflects faint traces of moonlight. Far below, the castle grounds sleep peacefully beneath the evening. The view is breathtaking. From here, Hogwarts seems almost unreal. The towers, the courtyards, the winding paths illuminated by distant lanterns. Everything appears smaller from this height, quieter. The traveler approaches one of the windows. A cool breeze touches the glass. Outside, the stars continue appearing one by one. The sky seems endless, a reminder of how large the world truly is, and how small even great castles appear beneath it. The office remains silent, not empty, peacefully silent, the kind of silence found only in places where people spend long hours thinking, reflecting, learning. A phoenix perch stands near one of the windows. Its polished wood gleams in the candlelight. The perch is empty at the moment, yet it feels important nonetheless, like a familiar chair beside a fireplace, a place shaped by years of use. Nearby stands a collection of framed photographs. Not many, just enough. Moving images preserved within silver frames. Smiling faces, old friends, long journeys, moments captured and remembered. The traveler pauses before them. The photographs move gently, never hurried, never demanding attention, almost like memories themselves, living quietly within the room. The candles continue flickering. Soft shadows drift across the walls. The silver instruments hum and turn. Outside, the stars brighten above the castle. Everything feels wonderfully removed from the worries of the world. The office possesses a rare quality, perspective. From here, daily troubles seem smaller. Not because they vanish, because they are placed within a larger view, the view of years, of history, of countless evenings that have come and gone beneath these same stars. The traveler notices a curious object resting upon a nearby cabinet. A shallow stone basin, simple in appearance, yet somehow impossible to ignore. Moonlight reflects faintly upon its surface. The basin seems older than the room around it, older than the castle itself. Its presence carries a quiet gravity. A sense of memory, of stories preserved, of moments waiting to be revisited. The traveler lingers nearby. The object feels important, not mysterious in a frightening way. Mysterious in the way old libraries feel mysterious, in the way forgotten journals feel mysterious, full of history, full of lives already lived. Outside, the wind brushes gently against the tower windows. The stars continue their slow journey across the sky. Within the office, time seems to move differently, more slowly, more thoughtfully. The room invites reflection. And as the candles burn steadily beside ancient books and silver instruments, the evening begins unfolding into something deeper than simple comfort. Because among all the wonders contained within this office, none hold more stories than the memories waiting inside the pensieve. Let us leave the windows and starlight for a moment and turn our attention toward one of the oldest objects in the office. The stone basin rests quietly upon its cabinet, unassuming, ancient, patient. The candles surrounding it flicker softly, casting warm reflections across its worn surface. At first glance, it appears simple, a carved bowl fashioned from pale stone, nothing more. Yet the longer one looks, the more difficult it becomes to ignore. The pensieve seems to possess a gravity all its own, not magical in an obvious way, magical in the way old memories are magical. The way certain songs can transport a person backward through time, the way a familiar scent can awaken moments thought long forgotten. The traveler approaches slowly. The office remains peaceful around them. Silver instruments continue their gentle humming. Books rest quietly upon crowded shelves. The stars shine beyond the tower windows. Everything feels calm. Yet the pensieve seems to hold entire lifetimes within its shallow depths. Moonlight touches the silvery surface inside the basin. The liquid moves gently, not like water, not quite. It swirls softly, carrying threads of light that drift and intertwine like mist above a quiet lake. Watching it feels strangely relaxing. The movement never repeats itself, yet never becomes chaotic. A perfect balance between stillness and motion. The traveler finds it easy to imagine how many memories have rested here over the years. How many evenings have been spent reflecting upon the past, not dwelling upon it, simply visiting, observing, learning. The office itself seems shaped by memory. Every shelf, every instrument, every book. Nothing appears chosen for decoration alone. Everything carries a story. Everything has been gathered through years of experience, years of curiosity, years of living. The pensieve merely makes those stories visible. A candle nearby burns steadily. Its flame bends slightly as a breeze brushes against the window. The office smells faintly of parchment, old wood, and melted wax. Comforting scents. The sense of quiet places. The traveler gazes once more into the swirling silver surface. The movement resembles clouds drifting across a moonlit sky, or snowfall carried by a gentle wind. There is no urgency here, only reflection. The sort of reflection rarely found in everyday life. The modern world often rushes forward, one task followed by another, one day followed by the next. The pensieve offers something different, a pause. An opportunity to look backward without regret, to revisit moments not because they should be changed, but because they mattered. The thought lingers, warm and gentle. The office seems perfectly suited to such ideas. Every object encourages patience. Every corner invites contemplation. Even the silence feels thoughtful. Outside, Hogwarts sleeps beneath the stars. The grounds stretch peacefully beyond the windows. The black lake glimmers faintly beneath moonlight. Far below, countless students dream within stone towers and cozy dormitories. Their lives continue moving forward, just as lives always do. The pensieve reminds the traveler that moving forward and remembering are not opposites. They belong together. The future grows from the past. One gives meaning to the other. The candles burn lower. Their light grows softer. Shadows deepen among the bookshelves. The office becomes even more peaceful than before. The traveler notices framed photographs resting nearby. Old companions, former students, friends long gone. Their moving images smile gently from silver frames. Not trapped, not frozen, simply remembered. The same purpose served by the pensieve itself. Memory preserved, not as a burden, as a gift. The night continues deepening. The stars wheel slowly above Hogwarts. The office remains suspended in its own quiet rhythm. A place where years seem to gather rather than disappear. A place where wisdom grows patiently from experience. The traveler realizes something. The most valuable memories are rarely the dramatic ones. Not always. Often they are simple evenings, shared laughter, walks beside familiar lakes, conversations that seemed ordinary at the time. The moments people failed to recognize as important until years later. Perhaps that is why places like this matter, because they encourage attention, they encourage gratitude. They remind visitors that every ordinary day eventually becomes part of a story. The silver surface of the pensieve continues its slow swirling dance. The office remains wrapped in candlelight. And somewhere among the shelves and memories of this quiet tower, another lesson waits. A lesson not about the past itself, but about time. Because few people understand the passing years better than the wizard who has spent so many evenings watching Hogwarts grow beneath the stars. Let us leave the pensieve where it rests and wander deeper into the stillness of the office. The candles have burned lower now. Their flames glow softly within pools of melted wax, casting long golden shadows across shelves crowded with books and curious instruments. Outside the windows, the night has deepened. The castle sleeps. The lake reflects the stars. The mountains beyond Hogwarts are little more than dark outlines against the horizon. Everything feels calm, timeless. Yet time is everywhere in this room. Not displayed openly, not measured by clocks alone. It lingers within the worn edges of books, within polished wooden desks shaped by decades of use, within silver instruments that have quietly hummed through countless evenings, the traveler notices how many objects seem old, not fragile, not neglected, simply old in the best possible way. The way an ancient tree is old, the way a well-loved home is old. Each mark and scratch carries history. Each imperfection tells a story. Nothing here appears concerned with being new. The office values something different: experience, memory, patience. The traveler pauses beside a tall shelf filled with journals, hundreds of them, bound in leather, arranged neatly, some dark with age, others slightly newer. Together, they form a silent record of years long past. The sight invites reflection. Every year feels enormous while it is being lived. Every season seems important. Every challenge appears permanent. Yet, eventually, those years become volumes upon a shelf, chapters within a much larger story. The realization feels oddly comforting. The night remains perfectly still. The silver instruments continue their quiet work. Quote, quote, end of chapter. Beige. A delicate mechanism near the window rotates slowly, scattering tiny reflections across the ceiling like fragments of starlight. The movement is mesmerizing, gentle, endless. The traveler watches it for a while. There is no need to rush. This office discourages rushing. The room seems designed to remind visitors that wisdom rarely arrives quickly. Most important lessons require time. The sort of time measured not in days, but in years. Outside, the moon drifts higher above Hogwarts. Its pale light spills across the castle roofs and towers. The grounds below appear peaceful beneath its glow. Paths wind through sleeping gardens. The lake rests smooth and silent. A few distant lanterns burn beside entrances and walkways, tiny points of warmth against the darkness. The traveler gazes out across the view. From this height, the castle feels different, less like a school, more like a living thing. An ancient place, breathing quietly beneath the stars. Generation after generation has walked its corridors, students arriving with excitement, departing with memories, returning years later as entirely different people. The castle remains, the people change. Such is the nature of time. The office seems to understand this better than anywhere else in Hogwarts. Nothing here fights the passing years. Nothing resists them. Instead, everything works alongside them. Books gather knowledge. Photographs preserve smiles. The pensieve protects memories. The room embraces time rather than fearing it. The traveler finds the idea reassuring. Outside the tower, seasons continue turning. Autumn becomes winter. Winter becomes spring. Spring becomes summer. The cycle repeats endlessly. Yet each year remains unique. Each year contributes something new. The candles flicker softly. A faint breeze brushes the windows. Somewhere among the portraits hanging along the walls, sleeping figures rest peacefully within painted frames. Even they seem part of the rhythm, guardians of memory, witnesses to passing generations. The traveler notices how peaceful the office feels despite its history. Many places burdened by centuries become heavy with importance. This room feels lighter, warmer, perhaps because wisdom itself is not heavy. Only experience carried without understanding becomes a burden. Experience carried with reflection becomes something gentler, something useful. The night continues unfolding, minute by minute, star by star. The traveler settles into a comfortable chair, positioned near one of the windows. Its cushions are worn, not worn out, simply worn by years of use. The chair immediately feels familiar, as though countless evenings have already been spent there, watching the moon, watching the weather, watching another day quietly come to an end. The castle below grows quieter still, if such a thing is possible. The final activity of the evening has faded. Only silence remains, beautiful silence, the sort found only in places where people feel safe enough to rest. The traveler closes their eyes briefly. The sounds of the office continue. The hum of silver instruments, the crackle of candle flames, the faint whisper of wind outside the tower. Together they form a peaceful rhythm, a reminder that time is not something to fear, not something to chase, simply something to experience. The traveler opens their eyes once more. The stars continue shining beyond the windows. The office continues glowing with candlelight. And somewhere within the quiet comfort of this tower, another chapter of the evening is waiting. For soon, attention will turn from memories and years to the sleeping castle itself, to the countless lights scattered across Hogwarts below, and to the rare beauty of watching the entire magical world settle peacefully beneath the night sky. Let us leave the shells and silver instruments behind for a little while and move toward the tall windows overlooking Hogwarts. The night has settled fully across the grounds now. The castle sleeps beneath a sky filled with stars. From the height of the headmaster's office, the view feels almost unreal. The traveler approaches the nearest window. Its glass is cool to the touch. Beyond it stretches one of the most beautiful sights in the wizarding world. Hogwarts at night. The towers rise from the darkness like ancient guardians. Their stone walls glow faintly beneath moonlight. Countless windows are dark now, yet a few still shine warmly from distant corners of the castle. Tiny squares of golden light suspended against the vast darkness. The sight feels comforting, not because the castle is awake, because it is resting. Every great place deserves moments of quiet. The grounds below seem transformed by the night. The lawns stretch silver beneath the moon. Pathways wind between shadows and lantern light. Ancient trees stand motionless near the edge of the forbidden forest. The entire landscape appears softer, gentler, as though the darkness has wrapped Hogwarts in a blanket. Far beyond the castle lies the Black Lake. Its surface reflects the stars with remarkable clarity. The water is almost perfectly still. Occasionally, a faint ripple appears, then vanishes, leaving only the reflection of the heavens behind. The traveler remains by the window, watching, listening, breathing in the stillness. The office behind them feels distant now. The silver instruments continue humming softly. The candles continue flickering, yet the view commands attention. The world beyond the glass seems endless. The moon hangs high above the lake. Its reflection creates a pathway of silver, stretching across the dark water. The sight reminds the traveler of something, how different places become after sunset. Not merely darker, more honest. The noise fades away, the distractions disappear. Only the essential things remain. The stars, the landscape, the quiet rhythm of the world continuing through the night. Hogwarts possesses a unique beauty at this hour. During the day, it feels alive with movement. Students hurry through corridors, lessons begin and end, voices echo through halls. The castle buzzes with energy. At night, another side emerges, a calmer side, a wiser side. The traveler imagines the countless evenings the castle has witnessed. Thousands of sunsets, thousands of moonlit nights. Generations of students sleeping peacefully behind stone walls. The castle has watched them all, patiently, silently, year after year. The thought feels reassuring. Some things endure, some things remain steady, while everything else changes. The traveler notices a narrow tower in the distance. Its highest windows glow faintly, a solitary light against the darkness. The sight seems especially beautiful tonight, a reminder that even during the quietest hours, warmth remains somewhere nearby. The stars overhead continue multiplying. The sky appears deeper than before. Clear, the Milky Way stretches faintly across the heavens like silver mist. From this height, it almost feels close enough to touch. The traveler leans slightly against the window frame. The wood is smooth from years of use. Countless people have stood here before, watching storms roll across the hills, watching winter's snow settle upon the grounds, watching dawn arrive over the mountains. Tonight, there is only stillness, and it is enough. Far below, a lantern sways gently beside one of the castle entrances. Its movement catches the eye immediately. Such a small thing, yet somehow mesmerizing. The light rocks softly back and forth in the breeze, a tiny reminder that life continues even while the castle sleeps. The traveler smiles. Moments like this rarely appear in stories. There are no adventures unfolding, no dramatic events, nothing demanding attention, and yet these moments often become the ones most deeply remembered. The quiet evenings, the peaceful views, the simple comfort of observing the world without needing to change it. The office behind the traveler remains warm. The candles burn steadily. The books rest quietly upon their shelves. The portraits continue sleeping within their frames. Everything feels perfectly balanced. The traveler gazes across Hogwarts one more time. The towers, the lake, the stars, the endless night sky stretching beyond the horizon. It is a view that encourages gratitude, a view that encourages peace. And as the moon continues its slow journey above the castle, the evening drifts gently onward toward its quietest hours, where only candlelight and reflection remain within the highest tower of Hogwarts. The night deepens around Hogwarts. The stars remain bright beyond the tower windows, yet the castle below seems even quieter than before. Most of the remaining lights have disappeared. The corridors are empty. The classrooms are dark. The great stone walls rest beneath moonlight and shadow. From the headmaster's office, the silence feels almost sacred, not because it is complete, because it is alive. The traveler steps away from the window and returns to the warm circle of candlelight filling the office. The room seems different now, not changed, simply more familiar. The silver instruments no longer appear mysterious. The bookshelves no longer seem endless. The office feels less like a place being visited and more like a place being shared. A place that has quietly welcomed another peaceful evening into its long history. The candles burn lower than before. Their flames have become smaller, steadier. Golden light pools across desks and tables. The shadows between shelves grow deeper, yet the room never feels dark. There is warmth everywhere. Warmth in the wood, warmth in the books, warmth in the gentle glow reflected from brass and silver surfaces. The traveler notices a single candle standing apart from the others near one of the windows. Its flame burns calmly, almost motionless. A small island of light against the darkness beyond the glass. The sight feels strangely comforting. One candle cannot illuminate an entire castle, yet it does not need to. Its purpose is simpler, to provide enough light for the present moment. Nothing more, nothing less. The thought lingers. Outside, the moon continues its slow journey across the sky. Its light spills across rooftops and towers. The black lake glimmers softly in the distance. The forbidden forest appears as a dark sea of treetops stretching toward the horizon. Everything feels peaceful, balanced, complete. The traveler settles into a comfortable chair near the center of the office. The cushions sink gently beneath their weight. The chair has clearly served this purpose for many years. A place for reading, thinking, watching storms, watching stars, watching countless evenings fade into night. The office seems designed for reflection, not heavy reflection, not the sort burdened by regret, gentle reflection. The kind that arrives naturally when the world grows quiet enough to hear one's own thoughts. The silver instruments continue humming softly. Their sounds blend together into a peaceful rhythm. Some emit faint chimes, others rotate slowly upon polished stands. The office resembles a collection of small mysteries content to remain mysterious, and somehow that feels appropriate. Not every question requires an answer. Not every mystery needs solving. Some things are beautiful simply because they inspire curiosity. The traveler closes their eyes briefly. The sounds of the room become more noticeable. The faint ticking of a clock, the whisper of candle flames, the soft hum of magical instruments, the distant wind brushing against the tower. Together, they form a kind of music, a quiet melody carried through the highest room in Hogwarts. When the traveler opens their eyes again, the office seems even calmer than before. The hour approaches midnight, that special point in the night when time feels suspended. Neither evening nor morning, a moment existing entirely on its own. The candles continue burning, patiently, faithfully. The lone candle near the window catches the traveler's attention once more. Its flame has not changed, not rushed, not diminished, simply steady. A reminder that calmness often comes not from great strength, but from quiet consistency. Outside, a few clouds drift slowly across the stars. Their shadows move over the castle grounds below. The moon disappears briefly behind them, then emerges again. The landscape shifts from silver to darkness and back once more. The traveler watches the change. Everything in the world seems to move at its own pace tonight. The clouds, the stars, the candles, the castle. Nothing hurries, nothing struggles. The night unfolds exactly as it should. The office feels timeless. It is easy to imagine similar evenings taking place years ago. A quiet tower, a warm chair, a view of the sleeping castle below. Generations may change, seasons may pass, yet some moments remain remarkably familiar. The traveler smiles. There is comfort in that thought. The candlelight continues flickering softly. The stars continue shining above Hogwarts. And as midnight draws closer, the office settles into its deepest stillness yet. A stillness filled not with emptiness, but with peace. The kind of peace that can only be found high above the castle, surrounded by books, memories, and the gentle glow of the last candles before midnight. Let us leave the midnight candles where they burn and turn our attention towards something quieter still. Not ancient magic, not legendary achievements, not the grand events that fill history books. Something much smaller, something far easier to overlook, the gentle magic of ordinary days. The night has passed its deepest hour now. The office remains wrapped in warm candlelight. Outside, Hogwarts sleeps beneath a sky of fading stars. The traveler remains seated comfortably near the window. The room feels peaceful, familiar, almost dreamlike. At this hour, the mind naturally drifts toward reflection. The great events of life often receive most of our attention. Victories, challenges, journeys, important moments marked clearly upon the calendar of memory. Yet the traveler notices something while sitting in the quiet tower. Most of life is not made of extraordinary days. Most of life is made of ordinary ones. And perhaps that is where the true magic lives. The office itself seems to support the idea. Every object carries history, yet few objects appear connected to dramatic stories. A worn chair, a favorite book, a polished desk, a well-used telescope near the window. Simple things, everyday things, yet each one has clearly been valued, clearly been loved. The traveler rises and wanders slowly toward one of the bookshelves. Thousands of books stand together in patient rows. Some contain remarkable knowledge, others likely contain simple observations gathered across years. Both seem equally important here. The room never separates great wisdom from small wisdom. It understands that both matter. Outside, a faint breeze brushes against the tower. The stars remain visible, though not quite as bright as before. The traveler notices this immediately. The night is changing, slowly, almost imperceptibly. Yet undeniably, time continues moving forward, as it always does. The thought feels comforting rather than sad. Ordinary days pass, that is their nature, yet they leave gifts behind. Memories, friendships, lessons. Moments that seem insignificant at the time, but grow more valuable with distance. The traveler gazes across the office. The silver instruments continue their quiet work. The candles continue burning. The portraits continue sleeping within their frames. Everything feels wonderfully ordinary and wonderfully magical at the same time. Perhaps those things are not opposites. Perhaps the most powerful magic has always lived within ordinary moments. A shared meal, a peaceful walk, an evening spent reading beside a window while Wayne taps gently against the glass. The traveler thinks about Hogwarts below, about the hundreds of students sleeping throughout the castle. Most of them will remember certain extraordinary days for the rest of their lives. Yet years from now, many may find themselves missing something else entirely. The walk to breakfast, the familiar staircase, the sound of friends laughing in distant corridors, the sight of snow falling beyond classroom windows. Ordinary moments, the moments that quietly become home. The office seems filled with that understanding. Its comfort does not come from power. Its comfort comes from familiarity, from years of ordinary evenings woven together into something meaningful. The candles burn steadily. Their light grows softer as the night continues. The traveler notices dust motes drifting lazily through the golden glow, tiny particles moving to the air, visible only because the light chooses to reveal them. The sight is strangely beautiful, a reminder that beauty often hides within the smallest details. The traveler returns to the window. The grounds below remain peaceful. The lake reflects the fading stars. The castle towers stand motionless against the horizon. Everything feels calm. The sort of calm that arrives only after the world becomes quiet and futile and stable and free and fair. The traveler rests one hand upon the wooden frame of the window. The wood feels smooth from decades of use. Countless people have stood here before, watching sunsets, watching storms, watching ordinary days come and go. And perhaps that is the lesson carried by this room. Not every day must be extraordinary. Not every moment must become a story. Sometimes is enough to simply be present, to notice the candlelight, to notice the stars, to notice the quiet comfort of an evening unfolding exactly as it should. Outside, the eastern horizon has begun to soften, only slightly, a hint of silver hidden beyond distant hills. Dawn remains far away, yet it is coming. The long night is beginning its final chapter, and as the traveler stands within the peaceful office high above Hogwarts, the gentle magic of ordinary days lingers in the air like candlelight itself, warm, steady, enduring. A quiet reminder that life's greatest treasures are often the simplest ones. The night is nearing its end, not with sudden brightness or dramatic change, but with the quiet certainty that every evening, no matter how peaceful, eventually gives way to morning. The headmaster's office remains warm. The candles burn lower now, their flames glowing softly among pools of melted wax. The silver instruments continue their gentle humming. The books rest silently upon their shelves, and the portraits remain asleep within their frames. Everything feels calm. Everything feels complete. The traveler stands beside the window one final time. Beyond the glass, Hogwarts rests beneath the fading stars. The castle appears almost suspended between worlds, not fully night and not yet day, a place balanced perfectly between darkness and light. The eastern horizon has begun to brighten, only slightly. A faint silver glow rests beyond distant hills, carrying the first promise of dawn. The stars still shine overhead, yet their brilliance has softened. Their long watch is nearly finished. Soon, the sky will belong to morning. For now, however, the night remains. The traveler gazes across the grounds. The black lake lies still beneath the fading moon, while the forbidden forest stretches dark and quiet beyond the castle. The towers rise proudly against the horizon, ancient, familiar, enduring. Everything seems peaceful, the sort of peace that can only be appreciated after a long day has ended. The sort of peace that asks for nothing, demands nothing, and offers only rest. The office behind the traveler feels different than it did at the beginning of the evening. Not because it has changed, but because it has become familiar. The silver instruments no longer seem strange. The shelves no longer feel overwhelming. The room feels lived in, welcoming, like a favorite library discovered after years of searching. The traveler notices one final candle burning near the center of the office. Most of the others have grown small. Some have already gone dark. Yet this one remains, its flame steady, golden, and quiet, the final light in the tower. The sight feels symbolic, not in a grand way, but in a simple one. One small light holding back the darkness until dawn arrives to take its place. The traveler watches the flame for a while. It never rushes. It never flickers wildly. It simply burns, patiently, doing exactly what it was meant to do. There is wisdom in that. The night has offered many lessons. Lessons about memory, about time, and about ordinary days. Yet perhaps the simplest lesson is also the most important. One does not need to illuminate the entire world. One only needs to bring a little light to the place where they stand. Outside, the first birds begin stirring somewhere among the castle grounds. The sound is faint, almost impossible to hear. Yet, it marks a turning point. Morning is coming. The traveler returns to the window. The eastern sky continues brightening. Dark blue becomes softer blue. Silver becomes pale gold. The transformation happens slowly, the way all meaningful changes happen, without hurry and without spectacle. The towers of Hogwarts begin catching the first hints of dawn. Stone walls emerge more clearly from the darkness. Rooftops glimmer faintly with morning light. The lake reflects a brighter sky. The world is awakening. The traveler feels no sadness, only gratitude. Some evenings are memorable because extraordinary things happen. Others are memorable because nothing extraordinary happens at all. This has been one of those evenings. An evening of candlelight and quiet thoughts. Of stars beyond tall windows. Of books, memories, and gentle reflection. The sort of evening that leaves a person calmer than before. The sort of evening carried forward long after it ends. The final candle continues burning. Its light grows less noticeable now, not because it is weakened, but because dawn has arrived. The office no longer depends upon candlelight alone. Morning has come to share the task. The traveler smiles. The lesson feels complete. Nothing lasts forever. Not candlelight, not starlight, not even the longest night. Yet endings need not be sad. They simply make room for beginnings. The first ray of sunlight finally reaches the highest tower of Hogwarts. Gold spills across the windows, across the shelves, and across the silver instruments. The entire office seems to awaken gently beneath the new day. The final candle still burns. For a moment, Candlelight and sunlight exist together, old light and new light, night and morning, a perfect balance. Then, slowly, the candle becomes unnecessary, its purpose fulfilled. The traveler takes one last look around the office. The shelves, the instruments, the warm wooden beams, the peaceful windows overlooking the castle. Everything remains exactly as it should be. Outside, Hogwarts greets another day. Students still sleep. The halls remain quiet, yet the promise of morning fills the air. The traveler turns toward the door. The spiral staircase waits beyond. The castle below awaits. And somewhere far beneath the tower, another ordinary day is preparing to begin. A day that may seem unremarkable while it is being lived, yet one that will someday become a memory, just like this evening. The sunlight grows brighter. The stars disappear. The office settles into the calm rhythm of morning. And high above Hogwarts, where candles once glowed against the darkness, the first golden light of dawn fills the tower. Warm, gentle, hopeful. The end.